So if you look at this graph, you'll see the circles around. Each ring represents 1, 2, 3, all the way to 15. And the spikes of the wheel are the angles, okay? And they're in degrees and radians on this graph. But for homework, you're only going to do degrees for now until you get your sea legs, as we call it. So if we look at the first point, 360, we're going to go to the third rung, which is right here, and we're going to go up to 60. So the ones that are positive are easy to graph, because it would be 3, and then 60 would be right here. Everybody see why it's right there?
Yes.
And I'll put here 360. Next one is negative 1.5 to 10. Well, 1.5 to 10 is 1.5 rungs at the 210, which is right here, right? Well, somewhere in between there. I can't do it right. But since it's a negative 1.5, you're going to cross the bridge and put it. And that's where I use my ruler, because I look at right across the bridge at 1.5 is where I put it, right there. Right here. Okay? Because the negative makes you cross the bridge. And I didn't cross the bridge right. All right, so when we have a negative R, what we're going to do is we're going to find 1.5 to 10, which is right here between 1 and 2 and 210. It's in between here. But since it's a negative R, it really goes across the bridge. So what I do is I go across the point and put it right here. So 1.2, negative 1.5 to 10 goes here, because the negative R makes you cross the bridge. Positive 1.5 to 10 would be over here where I made my first mark. And now because it's a negative, you have to cross the bridge. So wherever you end up, you cross the bridge. If you end up in the first quadrant, you end up in the other one. If you end up in the second, you end up in the fourth. Okay? But you have to cross the bridge with a negative R. So let's analyze negative 2 and negative 135. First of all, we're going to look at the negative 2, and the negative 2 is on the 2 rung. I'm going to change colors for this one. I'm going to make it blue. So it's on this rung here, right? And negative 135, you can either get it out of the woods. So what do you do to get it out of the woods?
Plus 360.
Plus 360. So go ahead and do that and tell me what it is. So let's think about this. 2 negative 135 is the same as, negative 2, negative 135 is negative 2, what was it?
225.
Positive 225. Do you see how that's the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So we go to 225, which is right here, but we had a negative 2, so what do we have to do? Cross the bridge. And it would be right here. So when the R is negative, at the end, you've got to cross the bridge. You've got to remember that negative 135 is the same as 225, but then it's a negative R, you got to cross the bridge. So all of these are in the first quadrant, which I don't know why they did that, but they did that. When you are graphing polar points, the first point is R and the second one is theta. And this is radius, and this is the angle. Everybody understand that? So when R is negative, you're going to have to cross the bridge. When theta is negative, you have to get it out of the woods and plot that point, okay? So sometimes you have to cross the bridge and get it out of the woods. So it depends on what this.
Sometimes.